Hi everyone, my name is Sandra Bichl. I'm representing Career Angels today, and today's live streaming is about the supply of and demand for candidates in Europe and what that means in practice for HR departments and experienced job seekers. As you might imagine, if you are professionally in career advisory, but I'm sure that has also happened to a lot of recruiters, executive search consultants, and HR professionals, candidates, your friends, acquaintances keep asking, so is that a good moment to look for a job? Should I be looking now? I have an offer. Should I take it? Is the market stable? And it's very difficult to give an objective, good answer that is only based on conversations we have or observations from one based on one company or 10 companies. So early on at the beginning of the pandemic, we had to figure out how can we give objective, neutral, competent advice based on what kind of data. So at the beginning of the pandemic last year, we started tracking so-called market signals. We wanted to understand how the job market is actually really affected, and we looked at the supply of and demand for candidates. In other words, unemployment levels and how many companies are actually hiring. And for that, we chose the platform LinkedIn to see how the levels and the numbers of published job ads are at, well, actually every Monday since the beginning of us tracking it. So far, and I'm super proud of my team, we have gathered 5,694 data points. We have also spoken to over 400 executives and HR directors to have also a qualitative commentary to the data and how companies are adapting to the different phases of the pandemic in the different countries. We have published so far 77 weekly reports, 335 daily updates, and 10 special reports. And we have now tracked 80 countries around the world for 19 months. So there's a lot of insights that I will be sharing with you today. Today is about summarizing September. If you want to have access to what we've done so far, I recommend you check out SlideShare under Career Angels. You can go to our website, careerangels.eu/market signals, where you can download the special reports. And you can follow the market signals on LinkedIn, where we have daily updates on how the job market is doing. The information about what is going on the job market is useful for both employers and candidates. From an employer's perspective, depending on how many candidates are available on the job market, it can lead to adapting packages. It can adapt the know-how of how much candidate and talent is available on the market. Can you be picky? How picky can you be? How much negotiation flexibility do you actually have? Will your post and pray approach work, or do you actually have to be more proactive in sourcing? Very often the board asks for recommendations, and based on data, you can then really say, we recommend based on these KPIs, market indicators, we recommend this, assigning more or less budget to certain recruitment initiatives, employer branding, etc. So it gives you more arguments to be able to do your job well. On the other hand, from a candidate's perspective, it also clearly suggests how much more effort you'll have to put into your job search, how much effort or how much time, how many companies and headhunters have to be contacted, and how much time overall to set aside on a weekly basis when it comes to your job search, and how much patience to have when it comes to the job search process in general. Now, we are streaming today live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So feel free to comment, ask questions. If you want to share where you're joining us from, this would be now a moment to let us know which country you are joining in from. To kick off, what I want to do to also show how misleading intuition can be, I'll show you a couple of questions, and then at the end of our today live session, I'll share with you the correct answer based on the data we have collected. So, what do you think? Have there been more executive candidates per job ad in August than in February? More, the same, or less? Where has unemployment increased the most over the last 12 months in Europe? Was it Austria, Poland, or Bulgaria? Which European region is the winner of September 2021 in terms of demand for candidates? And I can see some of you have already replied. When it comes to the countries, where has unemployment increased the most over the last 12 months in Europe? The answer I see is, well, Lebanon is not possible when it comes to the options. Switzerland, Poland, Sweden. Okay, someone's joining from Austria and the female factor. I'm happy to see you. I'm actually a big fan of the female factor, so great for joining. And yes, this stream will be made available. Then, which European region is the winner of September 2021 in terms of demand for candidates? Is it the DACH region? Is it Southern Europe or the Visegrad countries, which is Poland, Czechia, and Hungary? So now that you've been interactive, I'd actually like to see your response. What do you think in terms of region? Where have we seen the biggest increase in the number of job ads? Meaning which countries are actually hiring right now? I think the comments are coming in with a slight delay. Okay, good. And Italy is joining, and a couple from Poland. I'm happy to see you. Next question. Which European country is the loser of September 2021 in terms of demand for candidates? In other words, where are the least where's the least available number of job ads? Is it France, Sweden, or Czechia? Here we have B as in Sweden. Okay. How many European countries have noted a decrease in the unemployment level since August 2020? Out of the 28 that share unemployment data, would it be 3, 22, or 15? Which ATS was the most popular for managerial and executive roles in English between February and September 2021? Would it be Taleo, Workday, or Greenhouse? Okay, so you will find the answers to all of these questions today and a bit more. Overall, let's first have a look at the big picture. The big picture tells us that, sorry for that, I need to readjust my screen. There you go. Global reach. You can see that we track Africa, Americas, and Europe. You see the tendencies, what has been happening in the course of September with an overall downward trend, which doesn't mean that all of the countries have downward trends, so please bear with me. Let's look in more detail at Africa. In Africa, we track the top 10 economies by GDP: Nigeria, Egypt, South Africa, Algeria, Morocco, Kenya, Ethiopia, Ghana, Tanzania, and Angola. And here, looking at the month of September, the winners, meaning where the demand for candidates has increased, are Algeria, Egypt, and Morocco. On the other hand, Angola has lost a third, almost a third, a bit more than a quarter actually, of the job market. So a fourth of job ads have disappeared from the job market within a month. South Africa has seen a decrease of 4.44% and Nigeria of 3.48%. Then the Americas. Here we track North America as a region: Canada, Mexico, United States, Central America, and South America. When we look at the Americas, when it comes to the winners, meaning which countries have seen an increase in demand for candidates, it's Paraguay, Haiti, and Bolivia. On the losing side, so a decrease in the number of job ads after the summer, that goes to Nicaragua, Venezuela, and the Dominican Republic. Now, what is usually most interesting from a global perspective is the top 20 global economies. The top 20 global economies, as listed by the International Monetary Fund and they're the United Nations Population Division data from 2021. In case you are wondering, um, global economy number 21 would have been Poland. And how the global economies are doing influences the rest of the world. So let's see what has been happening in September over the last 4 weeks. Italy has finally seen an increase in demand for candidates. There are 41.81% more job ads as compared to the beginning of September. France plus 38.94, UK is up, Spain is up finally, Indonesia is up, Turkey is up, Japan, Netherlands, Russia, China, Mexico, Germany finally sees an increase in the demand for candidates, a job market that has been severely hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. And then South Korea, Canada, United States, India, Brazil, and Switzerland, with Switzerland being here the country that has seen the biggest decrease in the number of demand for candidates, have not seen yet a positive trend in demand for candidates. I have a comment here. There is a high demand for both specialist and global blue-collar workers in Poland. Employers are struggling to fill these positions. Definitely correct. One thing to also bear in mind, we're tracking job ads on LinkedIn which is not the place of to recruit blue-collar workers. But specialists, you will definitely find job ads for specialists on that platform. Now moving on to Europe. In Europe, we have work cut out for us when it comes to tracking data. Here we track Southern Europe as a region, Western Europe, Northern Europe, Visegrad countries, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Slovakia before when defining the Visegrad region, Southern Europe, Baltic states, Benelux, the DACH region, and Iberia. And Veronica adds, I think the whole of Europe struggles with specialized roles and blue collars, which is definitely true when you look at reports. Most recently, a report from the UK, the biggest gaps when looking for talent is in manufacturing and the hospitality industry. So reports confirm that definitely. So let's go again into more detail. When we look at Europe specifically, we do see an upward trend of 8.18%, which is overall good. Having said that, the trend is good, but if we compare September 2020 to September 2021, so same time last year, yes, we have an upward trend of 8.8%, but the European job market is still half the size of what it was last year. So last year we were close to 5.5 million active job ads on LinkedIn, and now we are down to almost 2.5, which is a huge impact and difference. More specifically, so a September winner in terms of region is Southern Europe. So this is one of the answers that we were looking for at the beginning. Southern Europe has seen an increase in demand for candidates of plus 27.78%. Same time last year, they have maintained more or less. 2021 is slightly below 2020, but nothing like the European trend overall. So they've maintained a good proportion or level of demand for candidates throughout the pandemic. Then September winner in terms of country. Here, Italy sees an increase of plus 43.90% looking at September. So they've added almost 50,000 new job ads to the job market for individuals that are recruited through a platform like LinkedIn. Same time last year, you see 2020 is also below 2021, but it's not a drastic different or as drastic as when we see Europe as a whole. September, the losing region goes to Northern Europe. There, as you can see, almost a third of job ads have disappeared within a month, which is a lot. Same time last year, overall, similar to Southeastern Europe, there was a good level comparing 2020 to 2021, but then September made a difference, and the job market in Northern Europe decided, well, not that the job market decided, but you can see a big difference as compared to same time last year, 2020. And here, that result of Northern Europe is influenced mostly by Sweden, that has seen a decrease in the number of job ads available of minus 44.45%, which is almost half less. And here you can see Sweden, same time last year, it was actually not going that bad in comparison. But then September did make especially last week of September, did make a huge difference. Then Germany. Germany has, again, finally seen an increase in the number of job ads. But as you can see, compared to the beginning of the pandemic, on the very left of the graph, we are we're sad Swedish sounds. Adam just posted, sorry, Adam added a comment, said Swedish sounds in the background. Thank you for adding that. Germany, in terms of job ad, is near close to where it used to be in terms of job market. So anybody who is active on the German job market has to increase their efforts by at least 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times the effort than what they used to have to put into job search. Same time last year, as you can see, the job market overall has shrunk by half. And again, I'm happy that we're participating. So we're live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you want to comment, ask questions, please do so. Join the group. I like what's going on in the comment session, so let's keep that up. Now let's have a look at Europe comparison, September 2020 to September 2021. As you can see, there have been a lot of fluctuations with visible peaks. There was a peak at the beginning of the pandemic, a positive peak, then a negative peak around January 25, then more or less an upward trend. So as a career consultancy firm, we were very hopeful, especially looking at the second quarter of 2021. And then the summer hit, and summer meant halving the size of the job market, which is not something positive to share with active job seekers. So July 2026 had again a negative peak, and as you can see, that was the most negative result since the very beginning of the pandemic. So 2021, from a job seeker's perspective, is much worse than looking for a job in 2020. Overall, comparing September 2020 to September 2021, we see a decrease in the demand for candidates of 38.67%, which is substantial. When we look at the annual change, on a country perspective, biggest annual increases in Andorra. We collect data from Andorra because they are part of Europe. And here, of course, as you can imagine, the moment Andorra publishes 5 more job ads, we have an increase of 100%. So Andorra to be, well, considered with a smile on the face, but then Latvia, Iceland, and the Baltic states are definitely have seen the biggest increases in demand for candidates. And the biggest annual decreases, Ukraine minus 86.39%. Imagine looking for a job in Ukraine. Switzerland minus 67.51%. And here there will probably also hear a sad Swiss sigh in the background. And Germany minus 46.26%. Now, when it comes to the changes in the number of LinkedIn job ads, in other words, demand for candidates in Europe, we looked at we've looked at percent so far. So when we look at absolute numbers for the 38 countries that we are tracking, 21 countries have seen an increase in the number of job ads, which is the bigger half, and 17 countries have seen a decrease in the number of job ads. I really like your comments. Thank you for making my live session today entertaining and much easier. Then we see a change in unemployment rates during COVID-19. So in other words, how about the supply of candidates in Europe? We want unemployment to go down overall. And here we have data from August 2020 compared to August 2021. So we have a full year that we compare the data to. And between in 3 countries, Bulgaria, Czech, and Poland, unemployment has gone up. In 3 countries, Belgium, Hungary, Romania, it's right now at the same level. And I have to say that it returned to the same level, which is positive. And in 22 countries, unemployment has actually gone down. So this is overall, when it comes to unemployment, good news. In more detail, and we will publish that infographic after our session today. Overall, you can see the green countries and the mixed countries and the red countries. Thank you for zooming in. So where we see an increase in demand and a decrease in unemployment is Iceland, Ireland, Portugal, Italy, Croatia, Greece, Romania, the Baltic states, and Denmark. So if you're a job seeker in those countries, it is easier, not saying that it's easy, but easier to find a job in these countries than in, for example, Spain, France, Switzerland, Belgium, etc. So they're red countries. From a employer's perspective, that also tells you where you can simply post a job ad and you can expect a fairly good and reasonable number of candidates to apply to. In some, you'll have to really put in some more effort. So post and pray won't work. And this data should help you convince relevant budget holders to release budget for certain activities, because this is based on relevant market data. Another KPI that we have been tracking, and we haven't been talking about it that much yet, is the number of candidates per job ad. So there are 2 things to see. One, there are more job ads in English for senior managers and executives comparing February to August. So more job ads, which is overall a good information for senior candidates. But what is super interesting, there are less candidates per job ads. In February, we had 71.1 candidates per published job ad on LinkedIn, and right now it's at 13.7, which is a huge decrease. So if somebody's looking actively for a job, please do take the job search channel job ad seriously. 60, 70, 80% of of opportunities on the market for experienced managers and executives go through applicant tracking systems. So make sure to use the channel in a wise way, meaning adapt your CV to an ATS compliant format. And the most popular ATS, now that I've started talking about them, the most commonly used one is Workday. Proprietary means companies have implemented their own solutions. So that would actually be number one, followed by Workday 17.35%, then followed by SuccessFactor, Greenhouse, Taleo 5.17%, which are jobs ads in English for senior managers and executives. Just to be clear, it's not all of the job ads. So summarizing, for candidates, more job ads, less unemployment means less effort needed in the job search. If there are less job ads, say more higher unemployment, 2 to 3 times more effort and longer job search times. Definitely, as of 2021, we definitely have to have, as job seekers, 2 CVs, one for the human. I can see a comment. I'll read it right away. I'll read it in a second. 2 CVs, one for the human recipient and one for the applicant tracking systems, meaning the job ads, which have an efficiency of about 26%. So 75% of job search effort should be somewhere else than job ads themselves. You need to use all 4 job hunting channels, which is contact with executive search consultants like Jacques, who has commented here, headhunters, job ads, direct approach, and networking. And it is super important to be consistent with personal branding, especially if you compete against a large pool of candidates. Here a question, Sandra, do you have any stats about the movement concentration of migrant workforce pre-pandemic? This is what kept the wheels turning across Europe, but post-pandemic, this is causing major headaches, especially in the UK. This is a good question. I actually had a look at a report yesterday. Please get in touch with me to remind me to send you that report after our session today. There are good reports on that migrant workforce, consequences. So if you are a senior candidate, if you know somebody who has minimum 10 years of experience, is looking for a job or thinking about it, please do let them know to get in touch with Career Angels by email to bichl.sandra@careerangels.eu. They can ask for a CV report or a career consultation, and all of that is completely confidential and free of charge. Now, the answers. Have there been more executive candidates per job ad in August than in February? The answer is no. So there were more candidates in February than now in August. Where has unemployment increased the most over the last 12 months in Europe? We've seen that was Bulgaria, which was one of 3 countries that has seen an increase in unemployment. So they went from 5.2 to 5.6 percentage points in unemployment. Which European region is the winner of September 2021 in terms of demand for candidates? So who is currently hiring? Here the answer was Southern Europe with an increase of plus 27.78%. Which European country is the loser of September 2021 in terms of demand for candidates? Here we saw that was definitely Sweden. How many European countries out of the 28 that share information have noted a decrease in the unemployment level since August 2020? Here the good news is that it's 22. Which ATS was the most popular for managerial and executive roles in English between February and September 2021? And the answer is Workday. Workday, if we look at the brand, but proprietary internal solutions would have been even more popular. If you like what we're doing, you can check out Career Angels. We have an Udemy course on job search called Every Step of the Job Search Explained, backed by research. We have a YouTube channel that I recommend highly. We have now 2 dedicated channels, one in English, one in Polish. And we have our LinkedIn live streams once every 2 to 3 weeks. If you'd like to thank us for our efforts, we've put together a list of things you can do. The way candidates need to hack algorithms, we need to hack algorithms as well on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. So we've put together a list of the most important things for us in terms of where to subscribe or what to like. We'd very much appreciate that. And at this point, I'd like to thank you so much for joining in today, for your comments and your questions. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And as I've mentioned, we will make today's information available in the next couple of days. Thank you so much and have a good weekend.